So I've cataloged on this channel my kind of journey to like make the current tech environment more make it like less soul sucking. Today I just thought I'd kind of go over something I'm trying. Um, so just to kind of go over what my little situation has been, I I've never been a massive like user of like social media or whatever, but I have been. I'm like pretty bad about just getting that like the YouTube Shorts, occasionally TikTok, occasionally Instagram Reels, scroll sesh. I'm pretty bad about. I don't even have a Reddit account, but I'm really bad about just going on the Reddit front page and doom scrolling all that garbage. And it's like when I'm there, I'm very intentionally being like, oh, this is like a lot of this is like just BS, whatever. But like it's it's something, because it's like your brain just wants that like that the dopamine, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, how do I make myself stop that? Because people are like, oh, delete the apps. It does not help me. Before I ever used apps, I would use these things on like the web browser. I remember like I first started going on Reddit threads, looking at Star Wars theories when I was like 13, um, and all that through a web browser. So like that doesn't really work for me, because I'm not that inconvenienced by using a web browser on my phone. Um, so it's like, okay, what else do we do? I tried the little like Apple screen time thing to block them all, but it's like I know my password. That doesn't help me. Um, so what do I do? I was like, oh, maybe it's like a willpower thing, and I think that ultimately is probably the best solution, but it's the hardest one, and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying this, and it has worked so far. I used a DNS tool, which I don't. I'm not. I'm like mildly tech savvy. I'm not gonna explain what all it does. I'm not totally sure. I have a loose idea, but like to my understanding, it kind of like just it blocks and can control what networks and what websites you can connect to, whatever. I don't know the garbage for sure. I would have at one point. I'm not. I'm a little rusty. I'm like a year removed from computer science classes, so I don't know. But I set it up. I just used a Next DNS, because it's the only one I know of off the top of my head, and I just set it up. It took a little bit. A little bit of fiddling, but I set it up to where when I go to Reddit on my phone or whatever, it just acts like the site is completely not online or whatever. Same thing. Um, Instagram. Same thing to do Instagram, whatever. Unfortunately, you can't like customize the domains, so like it didn't have anything for like Blue Sky, which is not a big deal because I'm not really a Blue Sky doom scroller. Occasionally, I'll type in random topics that I know are controversial and just like, you know, dig through that, but I don't do that much. That's not really a big pull. Also, because my it's funny, the Blue Sky app, or the website itself, kind of makes it hard to do, because it signs you out pretty frequently, and I have my account set up with like 2 factor, so it's a whole ordeal. It's not as quick and easy to access as it is on the larger social media sites. So it's worked for like the day I've done it. I don't know how much it'll stay working. I did also, unfortunately, because it's like just it custom stuff. You can't like it's all preset. You can't do anything like custom, I guess. You can't like actually enter in domains. It's like, oh, the domains it has set up on the feature. I don't know if you can like pay for access. I had no clue. Um, but I was like, I'm a little gremlin, and so one of the things I would do before I ever started like frequently checking like social media, whatever, like checking like Reddit front page, is I would go to the website nintendoleft.com, which I do love. It's a great gaming news site. Um, but I would go there and I just check the front page. Like that was my compulsive thing when I pick up my phone. I was, oh, you never know. What if they announced Sonic Unleashed getting a remake or something? What if today was the day that Twilight Princess 4K comes out? And so I would just like compulsively check that. Um, and so I did set up, and like I said, these don't really work great for me, but for like the other social media things, but like I set up just like a basic screen time thing. Um, and then I mean, I think it'll probably be enough because it's not really a very compulsive site. How I do prefer to access web content is through like an RSS reader, because it's a direct feed, and I can just check that once, and it's very like it's very like just I don't know, what the word I'm looking for is, destimulated. I don't know. It's not as like attention grabbing, and so I'm trying that. We'll see. But the issue is, of course, when it's not as attention grabbing and your brain's not getting all that dopamine, you start like not liking those solutions, even though like they're, I think, technically a lot better. Especially like because you can set these up for like personal blogs, and stuff of that nature, which I think is sick. In fact, I probably on my upcoming projects, I should probably figure out how to make an RSS feed for my own personal website that I'm working on, and for like my web novel, because I think that'd be a really cool way for people to interact with it. But yeah, I've set up YouTube on there, but I don't. It works all right. The issue, like I've talked about the issues before, and I do like watching YouTube on the TV. I think that's a pretty good way to do it. That I think makes it just more enjoyable, less, soul sucking. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I thought I'd talk a little bit about those things. It's kind of crazy. You have to do all this just to make the internet and to make technology like not feel like they're killing everything you love. I've talked about like I don't like feeling like I'm fighting against technology, and I think this is probably the best way for me to do it, because on my end, it just looks like the website's down. Not do I know how to go back and undo this? Yes, but it's like buried in settings, and I have to, change a bunch of crap. Little less. It's not as simple as just typing in a passcode and then boom. So yeah, that's something I'm trying. Just more so because I don't think those things are really good to have just like instant access to, just out of nowhere. I think it's good to just have to sit down at a designated device to access the internet. I still like have ways to get on those things. It's just like I don't want it on this. I want this to be. Honestly, right now, I'm trying to just see if I can actually tolerate it as a media device once I like remove those other things. I'm working on a video from the main channel. I said the main channel, but I'm working on a video for one of my other channels that will just be about using like my phone as like a mobile gaming, like as like almost like a 3DS replacement. Because I feel like mobile games get a bad rap, but I think a lot of that has my hypothesis going into this is that a lot of that is due to the other issues with like the mobile phone ecosystem, and that like you can get around it. Like that's my theory that I'm trying to like prove. That's what I'm going into it with. Trying to examine. I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, all that said, because of that, I'm trying to see how that angle works since I'm doing it for a YouTube video, and like a more scripted, like I say long form. I have no clue how long it'll end up being. But yeah, for something like that where it's kind of a more in-depth thing than just this, because I think I've talked about this before. I don't necessarily just want to make stuff like this. This is more so just getting me okay making videos and talking to a camera. But I really want to do like, almost more like Scott the Waz, peanut butter gamer type shebangs, your Ant Dude kind of videos where it's like, hey, this is just like a deep kind of dive on a topic that I find interesting. And because that's what I grew up watching. Like that was the stuff I was really into, in the formative middle school years. When I was first like actually diving into YouTube, and I feel like I have this uncanny ability to like yap forever about dumb video game garbage. I think it's kind of even telling because on this channel my most viewed videos are all when I'm talking about some like tech junk, and I think it's just because it's in my blood. Because like I watched way too many like not video essayists. I don't know. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to do at some point, and I'm working on a video. I have some other ideas. Like, I've wanted to make like an Undertale retrospective video for years. Like, since I first played it, I was like, that's a video I want to make. Not because like, there's a lack of people talking about Undertale, but because I have a pretty unique experience with the game. I think like a Breath of the Wild video probably incoming at some point. I feel like I could talk forever on that game, so it might not be an early video. But yeah, those kinds of things are the kind of stuff I want to do. Almost like if if you look up like Arlo's Pikmin 1 video he did like a year or two ago, very similar to that. Like, that's very much to the kind of energy I want to bring into it. Because it's like very, very thorough, and then very like, you know, some of the stuff that's like actually kind of close to me. Because even like mobile gaming or like portable gaming is something that like I grew up on. Like, that's very close to me, and that's like one of my preferred ways to play video games. And I feel like to a degree it's kind of dying these days, or it's at least shifting a lot. But all that aside, I kind of rambled towards the end here. I probably should have just kept it at my initial topic, but I got going about YouTube junk. But hey, we can see we see how that's going in a few weeks. No, not weeks, months. I mean, I'd like to have the mobile gaming one up sometime by like September. It's a side project, because I feel like it's good to have a side project. But I'm not gonna get going on that because I am going to end the video right now. Goodbye.